Dora. Today, we are going on a special trip. We are going back to 1892 in the Philippines and talk about a special person who led the Filipinos from the abuse of the Spaniards. Well, not literally. We are just going to the library to get a history book. Today, we are going to talk about Dr. Jose Rizal. He is a Filipino nationalist and polymath during the tail end of the Spanish colonial period of the Philippines. He is tagged as the national hero or pambansang bayani of the Filipino people. And key ophthalmologist by profession, Rizal became a writer and a key member of the Filipino propaganda movement, which advocated political reforms for the colony under Spain. He is the one who wrote the two novels, No Limitang Here and El Filibusterismo, which are written against the Spaniards.
Hola, Dora! Where are you going? And what's up with all that excitement?
Oh, hi, Boots! Everyone, meet Boots, my best friend. We are going to the library to get a book about Dr. Jose Rizal. You know him, right?
Of course, Dora! Who doesn't know Dr. Jose Rizal? The person who fought the Spaniards using his pen and not with a sword. He's one of a kind.
That's right. But how did he do it? What are the things he has done throughout his time against the Spanish colonizers?
Well, maybe that's why you're going to the library, Dora.
Oh, silly me. How could I forget? Let's go, Boots! Come on, Boots. Let's go to history section. Let's find Dr. Jose Rizal's timeline during his actions against the abuse of the Spaniards.
Okay, Dora, let's find that book.
Hi everyone. Do you see the history book? Where? Do you see it? There it is. Good job, everyone. Now, let's get that book.
You're too late. I've already got my hands on this book.
No! Come on, everyone. Let's say, swipe or no swiping.
Oh man!
Now that we got the book, let's start our journey.
The propaganda movement, which happened between 1872 to 1892, is a peaceful crusade or campaign for reforms led by Dr. Jose Rizal, Marcelo H. del Pilar, Mariano Ponce, and Graciano Lopez. It was the first Filipino nationalist movement. It was composed of ilustrados, exile liberals, and students who attended Europe's university invites and joined the movement. The members of the propaganda movement were called propagandists or reformists. There are patriots who conducted their movement through the use of pen and tongue to expose the tyranny of the Spanish rule in the Philippines and the urgency of reforms to remedy them. But when did it all started? Well, you guessed it right. It began after the execution of the Gomburza fathers at Luneta.
We all know that Dr. Jose Protasio Rizal Mercado y Alonso Rialonda, or commonly known as Dr. Jose Rizal, is our national hero. However, do you even wonder how Rizal became what he was? Well, there are a lot of things that have inspired Rizal, but one of the most notable ones can be traced back on January 20, 1872. This is the time wherein around 200 Filipino militaries revolted at Fort San Felipe in the province of Cavite as a retaliation or a message of disapproval after the Spanish government decided to remove their rights. Such rights are the exemption on paying taxes and on participating in polo y servicio, or in English terms, forced labor. So what happened in this movement? Well, at first, the Filipinos succeeded. However, they have only enjoyed victory for a short period of time, as on the following day, the Spanish government was able to take revenge and regain control over the land because the expected reinforcements from Manila had not come. This is because the original plan was that the troops in Manila would first set fire in Tondo. This will serve as a distraction as they creep in and take control of Fort Santiago. After this, they will fire shots that will serve as signals to the troops in Cavite. However, the problem is that in celebration of the Feast of Our Lady of Loreto, a fireworks display was made which was mistakenly assumed by the troops in Cavite as signals. Because of this, they proceeded with the mutiny with full of determination and hopes. But little did they know, they're just starting to walk towards a disaster. So, after the Spanish government has been back to position, they started giving punishments to those involved in the mutiny. The severity of punishments depended on how involved they are in the mutiny, as those directly involved are executed, while the others are just sent to exile. And aside from this, the Spanish government used the mutiny to take down known reformists and nationalists. Among them are the three priests, namely Father Mariano Gomez, Father Jose Burgos, and Father Jacinto Zamora, which are collectively known as the Gumburza. By this time, Dr. Jose Rizal was just at a young age, and through his brother Pasiano, who was known to be close with Father Burgos, Rizal became more aware and developed a deeper understanding on the situation. So, can you imagine if Cavite Mutiny never happened, and Dr. Jose Rizal was late in realizing that he should take the initiatives and make his decisions in accordance to setting the country free?
My God, Cassie! Why does he have to see those horrific scenes? Now we know why he is angry. Let's just continue the story, shall we?
Jose Rizal continues his education abroad, for it is his goal to finish education. After a few, he started writing his first novel, The Noli Me Tangere, together with his colleagues, but ends up writing it by himself.
Finally, I have finished my novel. Now it's time to publish this. Let the people see the tyranny of these Spanish colonists. Let this expose their abuse and corruption to the Filipinos. May you be awakened from the nightmare brought to us.
1 year later, after finishing and publishing his first novel, the organization La Solidaridad was established. The organization aimed to increase Spanish awareness of the needs of its colony, the Philippines, and to propagate a closer relationship between the Philippines and Spain. Rizal became a member together with his colleagues who was supposed to help him write the Noli Me Tangere, headed by Jose Rizal's cousin, Galicano Aplisable. It also issued a newspaper of the same name, which was published in Barcelona, Spain, on February 15, 1889. It was edited by Graciano Lopez Jaena and later on by Marcelo H. del Pilar. The social, culture, and economic conditions of the colonial of the Philippines were published in La Solidaridad. Speeches of the Spain liberals about the Philippines were also featured in the newspaper. La Solidaridad came out on February 15, 1889, a fortnightly and a bi-weekly newspaper. La Solidaridad serves as the principal organ of the reform movement in Spain.
Finally, my second novel! I wish the Filipino people have read my first book in time before it was banned. Now that its sequel is finished, I must publish this soon enough so that more copies can be distributed. I hope the government does not find out that I have released this. I am sure that they will immediately ban it and I would be in a much bigger problem. But now, I must continue my work against this abusive government.
Dr. Jose Rizal then formed a secret organization, La Liga Filipina. Its purpose is to continue the legacy of the propaganda movement and the aims of La Solidaridad. The organization was to be sort of mutual aid and self-help society dispensing scholarship funds and legal aid, loaning capital and setting up cooperatives. After it was established, it became a threat to Spanish authorities.
On this day, July 3, 1892, I declare the formation of La Liga Filipina. This shall continue our legacy.
3 days later.
Dr. Jose Rizal, according to the order of the Governor General of the Philippines, you are arrested for you have been charged of rebellion and starting an illegal society.
After Jose Rizal's arrest, he exiled to Dapitan. According to the Spanish government, this will let Rizal think of what he has done. The La Liga Filipina became inactive and the members have reorganized and split into two groups when it is about to be revealed. The conservatives formed the Cuerpo de Compromisarios, which pledged to continue supporting the La Solidaridad. While the radicals, led by Bonifacio, devoted themselves to a new and secret society, the Katipunan. Four years later, in 1896, he was executed in Bagong Bayan, now known as Luneta in Manila.
Oh no! What a sad ending. He died at a young age, but much more of him than his remains in Rizal Park lies in the hearts of Filipinos.
You're right, Dora. He may have died helplessly, but he gave the Filipinos the courage to fight for their freedom, to fight for their rights. Not only that, he taught us lessons on how we should live our life. He taught us that education is the most powerful tool anyone can have. He also taught us that we should never give up on our goals, even if it's against all odds.
He also taught us to live our life to the fullest. Do whatever you think is good for you. Do what you love and fight for it. But the best lesson he has left for us is being selfless. There is virtue in giving.
But before we leave, let us have a recap on Rizal's timeline.
Well, Boots, I think we know who we should call.
Let's go, Map!
Who's the guy you need to know when you got a place to go? What's my name?
The map!
Since this one is a special journey, instead of showing directions, I will show you Rizal's timeline.
Now that we have learned the great life of Rizal, I think it's time to go home. Oh, hi, Daisy. Good to see you, cuz. What are you doing here?
We're just going to read some books. How about you, Dora?
Well, we are just about to leave. We have read Rizal's life and how he became the hero he is.
I know him. He's truly a hero. Rizal once stated that he didn't want to resort to war. It was an unnecessary event. He wanted to equip his fellow Filipinos with the sufficient knowledge to remove toxic traits like crab mentality. He wanted the Filipinos to broaden their minds and open their eyes to the situation in front of them. Because Rizal knew that once the Filipinos got hold of weapons or the power, it will result to chaos. Just like what happened to General Luna, wherein his fellow countrymen cannot clearly see the intentions of the one of the greatest general of the Philippines. We want the youth to know that knowledge is more deadly and powerful than war. Deadly. Deadly in the sense that it will expose those who are abusive in our country, those who treat Filipinos as Indios. Powerful in the sense that it will help us rise above, become a better country by unifying people in one vision. Rizal stated that we, the youth, are the hope of the country. Education and knowledge are what will bring us to the top if we can only see how Rizal saw the Philippines.
That is very true, Danny girl. I mean, Daisy, we should always relive his life, for it is full of life lessons that will lead us to a fruitful journey. Well, it is nice seeing you, Daisy, but it is time for us to go home. Now, what do you think about Rizal's life? Do you think anyone can go through the ups and downs of his life had? In Map's presentation of Rizal's timeline, which part of his life you think impacted you the most? Did you enjoy this episode of Dora the Explorer?
It is actually the highest rating episode of Dora the Explorer.
And for more new episodes and videos,
Subscribe.
And hit the bell button.
See you on our next video.